Hey y'all, it's your girl Chris Nikki, and I'm back, and I'm doing a video for all my natural girlies. Shout out to the 4C girlies. So in this video, I am going to go from a puff to a braid out, and I'm going to take you guys with me along the steps, and also do a get to know me intro video simultaneously, because I know some of y'all don't know me. I'm new on this TikTok journey, so I want to just give some fun facts about who I am and how we got here. So let's do it. Be back. So I did want y'all to see my hair in a puff, or out of the puff, excuse me. So you can see I got some shrinkage going on, but once I brush it out, y'all gonna see the hang time. But I wanted y'all to see what we were working with fresh out the puff. Now what I'm about to do next is I'm going to section my hair into 4 sections. That's how I do everything. I would say pro tip, I do all styling starting 4 quadrants. Even when you wash your hair in the shower, I always have 4 knots going, and so it's always a cycle of going from section to section as you wash, as you condition, as you rinse out, all of that. And it's also the same thing in styling. It just helps me when you have super thick hair. As you can see, shout out to my 4C girls. You know, you gotta make it easy as you can. My wash days usually take at least a half a day. So all my friends know, if it's wash day, I'm not coming. Or best case scenario, if I really do want to go, you got to catch me on the other half of the day. So if I'm doing wash day in the morning, I can't meet you till about 7. Or vice versa. If you want to do it during the day, I got to be gone by like 4. So I can still start early enough to where I'm going to have energy to finish. So I just wanted y'all to see, this is all me. This is what we starting with. And then my products, I always have a base of water. That's really all you need every day. I used to be a heavy product creams girl. Now I only use those on wash day. And if my hair feels dry, which it really doesn't because I'm always spraying it with water every day and oil. But we got our water. We got our rose water, which I make from scratch, by the way. I can do a video if you guys want to know that. But it's really just boiling rosemary leaves and raw mint leaves. Boiling them and then refrigerating it. Spray this on your scalp, edges, anywhere. Make your hair grow like wildfire. Don't ever say I didn't tell you nothing. You will see results literally after like 3 days. And I've been using this for like 8 months. And I swear by it. So, rose water. And then I usually go back and forth between a peppermint oil or a bantana. Is it bantana? Bantana oil. So, yeah. I think I'm going to do peppermint though. Peppermint is good to stimulate your scalp. It's also good if you have like flaky, dry scalp, anything like that. Peppermint is your girl. I like it because it gives me like a little sizzle. I be feeling like snap, crackle, pop on my scalp. But that's just me though. So when I come back, we're going to have our 4 quadrants, and then we're going to get started. And then I'm going to tell y'all a little about me. Assume the position. Okay, so we got the 4 knots going. You just need the 4 sections. So now we can just get in there. So I'm obviously not going to make y'all watch me twist all this hair on my head. I'm going to do 1 section, and then I will time lapse the rest of it once we get to the part where I'm not talking anymore. However, the rest of it, I'm going to talk after I show you the first strand. Only because I know people do stuff differently. But for me, get you one of these if you don't have one that got some resistance to it. Because growing up, my mama will tell you, I broke every comb, brush. We used to go through them because my hair was just so thick that the average comb and brush just, it wasn't no match, baby. My hair, 3 combs and brush 0. But no. So, and also, some of this might be common sense, but I'm speaking for those who maybe are starting their natural hair journey, or maybe you have 4C hair like me, and no one has ever really given you advice or some tips that is catered to our specific hair type, which can, you know, need different techniques and products. Yeah, so this is me just giving y'all my pointers, but I want to make sure that some of the basics, if you don't know, like brushing your hair, you always want to start and brush up the shaft. So some people think they're tender-headed. It's not that you're tender-headed. You just not brushing your hair right. If you start from up here and go down, it's going to hurt. You want to start down, and as you brush or comb them up. And fun fact, natural hair, you should rarely brush or comb your hair and it's completely dry. You always want to have like a spray bottle. Where's my spray bottle? Something, even if you gotta moisten it just a little bit, just to get that groove. That helps prevent a lot of breakage and stuff like that. So I take that. I said I'm going to use my peppermint oil, a dab, run it through the whole section. Make sure I put it in that scalp. And then I just take mine. Also, I don't do like perfect parts. One, because it saves time trying to get perfect parts, both with the 4 sections and when I do the individuals. But it actually works though, because when you take your hair down, you know how once you take your braid out or twist out down and it's like all perfectly parted, so you're trying to make it look, well, if you just kind of pinch and grab a solid line with your finger, when you take it down, it makes the hair already look more blended and you can't see all the different perfect parts because you didn't make it so choppy. So, also, fun fact, I'm just giving y'all all my little tips. And you know, I'm always open. If y'all got some tips, put them in the comments, child. So, we doing a braid out. I don't have a problem, like I was saying. I'm obviously not opposed to twist outs. I haven't done a twist out probably since before COVID. I'm more of a braid out girl only because, once again, with 4C hair, thick hair, I like my styles to last long. So, with a braid out, my coils can last sometimes up to a week, versus with the twist out, I can probably get like 2 days, even if I use a pomade, which I usually do. And when I do use a pomade, it's all blurred out. I don't want to show y'all the thing. It looked like it's been through some things, but I use Kim Kimball's pomade. She has this thing. I didn't use this so much, y'all, you can't even read the label. No point in me showing it to you. It's called K2. But yeah, so I use that and just get the braiding down and keep braiding. And then once you get to the end where it likes to get puffy, keep it braided down. And then you're going to keep it. And then the one thing I like to do is when you get to these ends, never leave the ends just sticking out. I always have to coil in my ends. And you think this is a small detail, but it actually does help when you take them down, so it's not like coils and then the ends just look like this. So you want to always spiral that. Okay, y'all. So now I'm going to do the rest of them and tell y'all about me. So for those who don't know, I am a TV writer. Yes, I live in LA. I'm a TV writer. I wrote for a show called Saturdays, created by Norman Vance Jr. You might know him as the writer of movies like Beauty Shop, Roll Bounce. He's written for almost every classic show you can think of. But he created Saturdays. Marseille Martin from Blackish is the executive producer. And it was just an amazing experience working with Norman, with Marseille, her team, Genius Productions. It was my first staffing gig. I started off as an assistant with Lena Waithe on shows like 20s and Boomerang Season 2 that used to come on BT. From there, I moved over to being a writer's PA on Season 5 of Queen Sugar. Shout out to Ava DuVernay and Array. And from there, that's where I met my mentor, Norman, and that's how I eventually got on Saturdays and crossed over from being an assistant to a full-blown staff writer. My episode is episode 6, by the way. So actually, it used to be on Disney Plus, but I think they just took it down. So now you can go watch it on Amazon. So yeah. So, like I was saying, it keeps cutting off, but y'all know what I'm saying. So anyway, I finished, so I got 3 in this section. But working on that show was amazing. My episode is episode 6, like I was saying. It was on Disney Plus, but now it is available for purchase, and you can watch it on Amazon Video. Episode 6, Don't Clown the Duchess, written by yours truly, and it has a special guest in it, a certain female rap superstar that I feel like an OG in the game. So I feel like you guys might want to go check it out. But I am from St. Louis. I was born in California, outside of LA, in Riverside on an Air Force base. But once my parents split, I grew up with my mom in St. Louis, and I would spend the summers and winter break coming out to LA, and that's where I got the bug. Always knew I was going to do something in entertainment. I am a multi-hyphenate. I started off as a theater kid, and then, like I said, now I'm a TV writer, I'm a poet, I used to work in PR, all of those things. I went to a Christian private school, always been an academic, honors, AP classes, predominantly white, Christian, elite private school, only black student in a lot of AP classes, first black cheerleader at the school, and first black captain of the cheerleading squad at the school. Brought the first Black History Month program to the school, brought the praise dancers from my Black Baptist church to the school. Baby, they didn't know what had hit them. So pretty much I've always been like a let's break the mold. I'm going to be authentically me no matter where I'm at, even if it's a bunch of rich white kids or at my Christian private school. I was always going to bring my, authentic blackity black self into the space. So it wasn't actually till I got to college. I went to an HBCU called Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma. It's actually the most southwestern HBCU in the country. Jeopardy, fun fact. Shout out to the Lou Elsa. Shout out to the Lions. That's our mascot. But yeah, in college is when I decided to go natural, actually. Up until then, girl, I was president of the Team Creamy Crack. You couldn't have even told me nothing about going natural. Like, what? I've been getting my hair done professionally at a beauty salon since I was 5. I told you I had thick hair. When I was 5, my hair was like past my butt. My mama said, I need my piece. So at 5, she started paying for me. She would pay for me to go to the shop like a grown woman. So I was used to being Team Cream Crack, perm, straight hair, flowing. So this was new. I think going to a HBCU, I was already blackity black, like I told y'all. But then just times that by 100. So I think my junior year, I went home for winter break, chopped all my hair off, came back, and been a naturalista ever since. So yeah. So then after college, I actually moved to Atlanta, lived there for a year and 3 months, had my own PR firm for a minute, had 2 whole clients, realized I hated it. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you like it or that that's what you're called to do. So stop doing that. And then while I lived in Atlanta, I actually discovered Awkward Black Girl, Issa Rae's web series she had that led to her getting insecure. And by the time I discovered it on YouTube, it was already on season 2. I binge watched all the episodes from season 1 and season 2 in like 2 days. And within 2 weeks, I had my best friend who also lived in Atlanta at the time. And me and him, I wrote the web series, my first web series called Situationships, wrote it, casted it, produced it, and had my best friend do all the camera work and editing for it. It was a hot mess, child. But I was inspired by Issa and what I saw her doing on the internet. And I said, I too can do that. I got a degree. Oh yeah, by the way, my degree is in broadcast journalism. And like I said, I was a theater kid. I've always been able to write poetry, prose, creative, write any type of thing. I told you I had just got done doing PR. Anything you need, I can do it. So did that, got some actors casted, we did that, and then maybe like 2 months after I did the web series, I was in LA, baby, because I told you I had my dad and his side here. My lease was ending. It all aligned. I knew it was a God move, which is another thing. When God gives you the sign to move, because I told myself I thought I needed to be in Atlanta for 2 years. This is me diminishing my own self, like, oh, Atlanta was going to be my stepping stone city until I moved to LA. So it's like, oh, I'll be here for 2 years. That'll give me enough time to, you know, make some connections, get in the industry, all these kind of things. God said 2 years, baby, I'm going to do it in 1 year and 3 months. So around that time, I started feeling like I was hitting a glass ceiling. And to the point where every night I would just lay in the bed and pray, like, God, what's going on? What's going on? And finally he told me it's time to go to LA. I'm talking to God back like, wait, but it hasn't been 2 years. God's like, I know, I never told you 2 years. You were operating in fear and convinced yourself that it was going to take 2 years, to do it. And God was like, I said now, at 1 year and 3 months. And you know what I did? I got my things. I got in a U-Haul. Well, actually, my dad drove the U-Haul across country. I took a one-way flight from Atlanta to LA. Yeah, but got to LA, lived with my grandma in her house. I thought, once again, see, even telling my story, my testimony, I'm seeing the pattern. Because once I got to LA and was living with my grandma, I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to get into the industry. My dad told me, get a PA job. I didn't even know what a PA was. Which, by the way, is a production assistant. Which is basically code for do anything that anybody higher than you on set or in the writer's room or in the production office or affiliated with the project ask you to do, you do it. Get coffee, proofread a script, get somebody's dry cleaning, order lunch, make a phone call, send emails, pass out forms, go check the time card. It could just be anything. And you could be, there's 5 million variations of PA. I've been them all. But yeah, so when I got to LA and was staying with my grandma, I was like, oh, it's going to take a minute for me to really, you know, infiltrate the LA scene. So I told myself, oh, I'll probably need to live with my grandma for at least 2 or 3 years because you're thinking about LA cost of living. I'm coming out here with less than $500 to my name, just following God, and he's saying go. Because I didn't even have enough time to save up to do a big move like that. So once again, just giving God a timeline that he did not ask for. I thought it would take 2 to 3 years before I would even begin to get my own place. And even still, I had already accepted like, oh, LA's expensive. You're probably going to need a roommate. Wrong answer, forehead. All my millennials know where that's from. No, I ended up moving out a year later. I got a show as an office PA on Disney Channel for a show called Coop and Cammy Ask the World, season 1. And I was able to move into my own apartment literally a year after I moved, and I didn't have a roommate. I actually still live in, this is the same apartment. Oh, let me knock this stuff over. Oh, okay. So y'all getting the real, this is like real rap raw. But yeah, so I ended up moving out only a year and no roommates, and I love my apartment so much. I'm still here. So I tell people I'm gonna be here until I get that Shonda Rhimes check and then ready to move into my skyrise. But no, so that's how I got to LA. That's how I became a writer. So yeah, so as far as the jobs, I was working on that show, Coop and Cammy Ask the World, as an office PA. And I knew I wanted to get to, you know, being a writer. So once I became an office PA, I started learning the ropes of, oh, this kind of PA, that kind of PA. Then you want to move up to writer's assistant. And then maybe you can get an episode. And then from there, you hope that you get staffed as a staff writer. So I worked there, Coop and Cammy, season 1. From there, I actually, and before that, I'm skipping some steps. Before that, I worked in reality TV, daytime talk, late night show called Man Cave on BET. Tank was actually a host on that show. Have some amazing, funny stories. He's amazing. Got to work with a lot of talent on that show, by the way. They had a lot of good A-list clients. So I had that whole thing going on for about 2 months before I finally switched over to scripted when I got to Disney. From there, I ended up going back to unscripted TV for a brief stint. I worked on Steve Harvey's talk show he had called Steve on NBC. So I worked there as a producer, a producing team PA on a 3-person producing team. And that was amazing. We got to produce the live talk show. Well, it wasn't live, but producing the shows and going down on set while it was being shot is what I meant. And that's like an experience you really can't describe, of being there. Steve's on set, whoever's the guest, you got an audience that's there in the flesh watching this all go, and it's just like an adrenaline rush I can't really explain. So even though I like working in scripted and that was my goal, I really did enjoy my stint in unscripted, especially on the Steve show. From there, that's when I moved to being in Lena Waithe's mentorship program called Hillman Grad. And from there, I met some amazing people who helped transition me into a writer's PA in the writer's room. So I worked in the writer's room for season 1 of 20s. Then I went to Boomerang, which was also on BET, with Lala Milan and a whole bunch of other amazing people for season 2 of Boomerang on BET. And then I went to Queen Sugar for season 5. And that's where I met my mentor. And like I said earlier, that's how the road leads to Saturdays. Yeah. And working on Saturdays was amazing. Got to go to set, work with some amazing people like the amazing Golden Brooks. She played the mom on the show. And yeah, got to go to set. Disney flew us out. So yeah, once I became... Where did I leave out? Oh yeah, enjoy Saturdays. Yo, the fact that I'm talking and doing this story time, please give me grace. I promise I'm an amazing trained orator, well-spoken. Like I told you, got a whole degree in broadcast journalism. I love telling stories. This is my first time ever trying to like do a story time while full-blown doing a braid out. Usually I'm watching a movie or a YouTube video or, you know, something like that. So the fact that I'm trying to remember pertinent details and dates while also taming the forest on my heads, bear with me, you all. But yeah, so Saturdays was amazing. Oh, I was saying that each writer got flown to set. We shot the show in Chicago, and you got to help produce your episode and meet all the cast. And I'll just tell y'all, the special guest in my episode is the Brat, and got to meet her. That was an amazing experience. Also, another iconic female rapper who pioneered for the new girlies, Yo-Yo, who also played Kilolo on Martin. So that was amazing to work with her. She's actually a recurring character on the show. The Brat was a guest star in my episode. I said, look at God. Because anybody that knows me knows, like I said, I'm blackity black. I love 90s R&B. I love throwback rap, especially rap in like the early 2000s to mid 2000s when I was in my prime teenage years and college and stuff like that. So I love like hip hop, all things the culture. So I'm like, what are the odds that God would bless me that my first episode of television I would get to write for the Brat and Yo-Yo and Golden Brooks, which Girlfriends was the show when I was a kid watching. I was like, ooh, I'm going to move to LA full time, because I told you I would come for half the year, summer and winter breaks. But I wanted to, as a kid. I already knew when I became an adult, I wanted to live in LA full time because I wanted to be in the industry. Told you I knew it was going to be something. God's always placed it in my spirit, in my mind. I knew I was always going to be in this sort of realm. So Girlfriends was my show. Like, oh, I want to be like Joan and Tony and Maya Lynn. I'm going to have my girl group, and we're going to go out to cute restaurants and all this stuff and have crazy stories. And that's exactly what happened. I got my girls. I have a good group of friends here. A lot of them are in the industry. I've had some dope experiences and all that. So yeah, in a nutshell, going back to Saturdays, that was an amazing experience. Unfortunately, post the writer's strike, it was canceled, not due to rating. Once again, where did I leave off? But no, Saturdays was amazing. Had a great time. Oh yeah, I was saying that it got canceled, unfortunately, post writer's strike last year in 2023, but it wasn't due to ratings. Never that. Don't play with this. But no, and we really put on for roller skating. The show is about 3 black girls in Chicago who are a roller skating crew. And so when y'all see these new shows coming out, reality shows and all that stuff about roller skating, remember, we brought the wave back to the TV screen. But yeah, so that was a cool experience, all that. Yeah, and now the industry is still kind of in a weird space right now. If you know anybody in the industry, they've probably been telling you that. And it's affecting everybody from actors, writers, producers, down to stuntmen, the people that work on the crew, do the lights, equipment, all that. Everybody's feeling it. So, I mean, there are, of course, people that are blessed to be working and stuff like that right now, but it's definitely not what we were hoping for when we were on the picket line last year. As far as, I don't think most of us thought it would still be in this much of a hiccup this far out of, you know, winning the strike and getting the things that we wanted. So yeah, that's kind of my story, y'all. It's how I got to LA full time as an adult. It's how I worked my way up as a writer. Y'all want to go tell me I forgot to put oil on? Y'all ain't no good. Y'all ain't no good. But yeah, I love the Lord. I'm a church girly. I'm very active in my church out here. I'm actually I love my church because it's the perfect balance of modern, vibrant, you know, worship and things like that. My pastor is still fairly young. He's 45. But it's still very much Bible-based, on the word. Ain't no funny business going on. All these viral moments y'all see. No, absolutely not. I don't even play with God like that. And you shouldn't be letting nobody play with your spirit like that. Catch? But yeah, love my church. And I'm actually over a ministry at my church. The ministry I'm over actually focuses on social justice and mental health. So I was actually blessed to launch a free therapy clinic. And we just started it like 2 weeks ago. And so we were able to offer everyone in the congregation and the community at large who signed up free therapy with therapists that they meet with for full therapy sessions every other week. So I was saying full free therapy sessions, like the regular length they would get if they were paying or using insurance. And it's completely free. No insurance needed. Didn't have to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork, sign your firstborn child away. Just sign up info and we got them attached. So that feels good to be able to be over a ministry and be making an impact like that, not only in my congregation but in the community at large. So that should give you a glimpse of the kind of church that I go to. We also yesterday on Sunday we did a $10,000 gas giveaway for any cars that just pulled up. And we sponsored a Shell gas station that is actually owned by a black family in the community. So just amazing. So when I say I'm a church girl, but I'm also smart about where I serve. And I would advise you guys to do that as well. I'm a living witness that I'll be the first to agree with y'all that a lot of these pastors and churches are crazy. But there are a few out there that have not lost their mind or lost the plot that we're supposed to be here doing this for God and for the people and to be an example. So, yeah, that's a big fact about me. Yeah. So, I used to be in a run club up until COVID. And then I was like, oh, no. And I probably need to go back so I can get snapped. I am actually on a health journey though. Like a lot of people, I kind of picked up some weight in COVID. I've always been a thick girl. I've never wanted to be skinny. I like being thick and shapely. We just wanted to be toned. As long as I got a flat stomach, everything else can be pulled. So that's really what I want. Flat stomach. As long as I can just be like, everything else can be. So, you know, I was blessed, you know, with a wagon that I'm dragging. But we got to get... But no, I love my body. That is one thing that I love about me. I have the goals and I'm always able to be like, ooh, all right, baby. We want cheeseburger away. Let's reel it in. But still simultaneously being like, oh, girl, get it, get it, get it, get it. And that's just how you got to be. That's the duality. You can say, I got a goal, certain things I want to improve, but along the way, the body that I got now deserves love. The body that I got now deserves to be draped in drip. The body that I got now deserves to be seen. So that's just a word to the wise out there for anybody else that may be working. So yeah, that is me. Oh, something else I wanted to circle back to. Since this is a get to know me story time, how I got to LA and become a writer and everything that happened on my journey to get here. When I was in college, going back to being a student at the Langston University, shout out to all my HBCU grads. It's just something about, of course, we all rep our HBCUs and we all think our HBCU is the best. But every person I know that went to a HBCU, why when we announce our school, it's always the Howard University. And then don't let us be the Hampton, the Langston, the Alcorn, the, you know, whatever it is. We all, what is the the? And it's always that HBCU, the. And don't let me be feeling extra. I'll give you the illustrious Langston University, where our colors are opulent orange and brilliant blue. Baby, don't play with me. Because what I was circling back to was, in college, I was actually very active. I used to joke I was in probably almost every organization on campus with the exception of maybe like 5. But I was an ambassador, so that's why I know so much about my university. I could rattle you all the history, the presidents, every dean, all of that. Every building, what the history is, why it was named after that person. I was the person when you come to the school and they give college tours. That was me. I'm also a Delta. I was president of my chapter, the Beta Up Salon chapter, also known as Beta Oop. So yeah, I was also a campus queen. In college, I got into pageantry. I was Miss Black Oklahoma. No, where the hell did I get that from? Y'all, I'm sorry. I was Miss Black Langston University. And once I won, it afforded me the opportunity to go to the next round to compete in Miss Black Oklahoma. And if you're wondering, why did y'all have a title called Miss Black Langston if it's an HBCU and everybody's black? Fun history fact. Back in the day, when they used to have the Miss Oklahoma pageant, black women weren't able to compete. So, a woman named Clara Looper actually created the Miss Black Langston pageant that now was able to go on to the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. So basically, they created a black version of the Campus Queen title so that you then could go on to the next statewide competition that was for black women. Because you got to remember, this is Oklahoma we talking about. Because even though it's an HBCU, outside of the pocket of Tulsa, which is where you get your Tulsa race riots and the Tulsa massacre and Greenwood and all of those things, which is like an hour and a half to 2 hours from my school. And then you got Oklahoma City, which was the closest big city, because our school is called Langston University and it's in its own college town called Langston, Oklahoma. So those were your 2 biggest cities. You either going to Tulsa or you going to Oklahoma City. But outside of those pockets, you know, you still got a lot of racist white people. But actually going to school in Oklahoma and then doing that pageant and winning and having to do events and go throughout the state and, you know, all those things like a campus queen, you meet so many people. And I learned so much about the state of Oklahoma. People actually don't know that Oklahoma is a historically black state. And I was so bewildered to find that out. And so much so that when people hear Langston University, they think, oh, it must be named after Langston Hughes, the poet. No, it's actually named after a man named John Mercer Langston. He was a black landowner, real estate, land developer, all of those things. And so they named the school after him. So the Langston is after John Mercer Langston, not Langston Hughes. And then I went to college on a full ride scholarship. Told you, girl smart. Girl smart. Full ride academic scholarship. I tell people I pretty much got paid to go to college. They paid for everything. I got a stipend, books, all of that. But to keep it, every semester I had to have higher than a 3.5 or higher, and I had to do 30 hours of community service, and I had to finish and graduate within 4 years. And your girl did it. Graduated with honors. Did it. So yeah, and my scholarship is called the E.P. McCabe Scholarship, and that is also named after a well-known black man who made lots of history in Oklahoma as far as the land run, bringing black people to Oklahoma when it was still being settled, and all of those things. So y'all just learned some black Oklahoma history and some Langston University history. So yeah, I wanted to circle back and make sure y'all knew that. So yeah, I'm almost done. Look, y'all, we on the last section. So yeah, when I come back, we're gonna be done. Okay, so we down to the last two. This one and then one more. So yeah, so I just wanted you guys to get a little tidbit of information from me. So when you see me doing my content, which I plan on focusing on advice, story times, lifestyle, and leisure, because I'm a TV writer and I'm in the WGA. I get invited to a lot of like industry type of cool stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna start documenting it. Take y'all in my world. Give you a behind the scenes glimpse into my experience of LA living and still, you know, being on the rise as a TV writer. Still trying to sell my own show, leading up to my big break. So, yeah, I want to take you guys on this journey with me. And if you haven't already, check out my videos on TikTok at Chris Nikki TV. I will be focusing on TikTok and YouTube. So make sure you follow me on both. Like, comment, subscribe. Share the video. Let's get me up in the algorithm, folks. But no, I'm excited to take you guys on this journey, share my world. I have so many friends who've always told me like, oh my God, you have such a big personality. You love to talk. You have the industry background. You're in the industry. You're always doing these dope things. You should really record it. And with everything happening in the industry and things kind of being at a standstill, I'm writing my first film, so I am doing that. I'm looking for a new agent. So yeah, all of that, it just feels like God is like, this is the time. Because once you get in the next writer's room or you sell your project and things start moving fast, you might not have as much downtime. So I really want to use this time right now while the industry is still kind of figuring out the kinks. I really feel like God has given me the green light. I was about to say green lit. Green light to get the foundation of my content going and really try to connect with my audience and let y'all get to know me. I'm a goofball, so I hope y'all ready to laugh. I write comedy, so obviously I hope that's translating. But yeah, look at it, y'all. So we went from the puff to this, and when I come back, I'm gonna show y'all what it looked like when I take it down. And I always do like to put a ponytail holder on. I was saying I like to put a ponytail holder on because it helps stretch. Like I said, all my natural girlies, especially my 4C girls, y'all know the shrinkage is real. That's why when I started off with my puff, I was like, don't play me. Don't play me. Y'all not getting into the inches. Like, you can see the thickness, but you can see the inches. So, sleep like this. I'll put my scarf on. I'm going to hit these parts with some last minute oil. Let that scalp eat. That scalp juice. Whoa. Your scalp will thank you. So yeah, put that in, put my scarf on. Ain't that what the kids do? But anyway, so yeah. And next time you see me, I'm gonna have my braid out down. So yeah, this is getting to know me. Not me doing the millennial peace sign. Whew, and I say that as a millennial, so millennials don't fight me. I am a millennial. I can talk about this. But yeah, guys, so I'll see you on the other side of taking down the braid out. And voila! Get into the coils. Get into the coils. And this is just the first day. As you know, all my naturalistas know, the longer you go, the curls loosen and fall. So this is just day one, baby. Can't wait to see what my day 3 coils look like. But this is the final product. Go to braid out. I didn't blow dry my hair before, so the shrinkage is real. But don't play with me. Never do that. But yeah. And the outfit, I actually am going to a screening for Pharrell's biopic, Piece by Piece. It's a biopic, but he's doing it in Lego form. So I'm actually doing a vlog on that. So make sure you go watch my video of me at the screening. But this is the final product. Braid out. Shout out to my 4C girlies. 4C girlies. Guys, this was for the girls. For the girls. And all my naturalistas. For the girls.